Hey guys, welcome once again to the Adjective Genius course. Today we're going to talk about comparative adjectives. Let's go! Let's take a quick look here at how we use the comparative adjectives. Usually we'll talk about comparing one object to another object or comparing one person to another person. But we can also compare two groups of things. What we have to keep in mind is that we are usually talking about comparing two parts in a sentence. So, as we can see here on the screen, we use comparatives to compare two things. One is always more than the other. Okay? So when we say Jack is taller than Eric, Jack over here is taller than Eric, we have something that Jack has more of than Eric. Jack is also older than Eric, but Eric is more emotional than Jack. As you can see, we compare different characteristics using different adjectives, and the result is we got some adjectives that take the suffix er, like older and taller. And we got some adjectives that don't take any suffix at all, and instead have the word more in front of them. Let's talk about how that happens. So the comparatives are really easy to do, guys. What we have to look is at the structure of the adjective. In your booklet, you will find many examples of adjectives in English, and in the other classes of this course, we have talked about many adjectives. So think about the adjectives we've talked about, and please remember that each word in English can be divided into syllables. Syllables are the little sounds that we make. You can think of them as every time you open your mouth to pronounce something. So when you say comparatives, you open your mouth a certain number of times. We can say that it's comparatives. Okay? Here, you might want to think, oh, I will say tivs, but that's not how we pronounce in English. In English, tivs with 5 letters is actually one syllable. If you say it really fast and you clap, you can actually tell how many times you open your mouth. Comparatives. Comparatives. It's really fun to use. So knowing how to find syllables in English will help you into knowing when to use the suffix and when to use the word more. Okay? So for adjectives that have only one syllable, or they have 2 syllables and they end in y, we are going to add the suffix er to the end of them. And we are going to say then. Of course, then here is a word we always use with the comparatives, okay? So here are some examples just for us to keep in mind. A rabbit is fast. That's a fact, right? And a rabbit is faster than a turtle. If I compare the rabbit with the turtle, I'm going to think about the adjective fast. Fast has 1 syllable. Fast. So fast, 1 syllable. I will add er to the end of the word, then a turtle. In our second example, we have another adjective with only 1 syllable, and that adjective is tall. Tall is 1 syllable. For example, my mom is taller than my sister. The last adjective here is one that ends with y. It is crazy, as we have here in parentheses. when an adjective ends in Y, we'll do a similar process. The only thing we have to pay attention is to change Y into the letter I. Okay, so we'll switch the letters and then add ER. So crazy, crazy. 2 syllables, but ending in Y. This dog is crazier than the cat. Okay, so a little recap. 1 syllable or 2 syllables ending in Y will do the suffix ER at the end. Now, for adjectives that have 2 syllables but don't end in Y or more, we are going to put more. Just let the adjective as it is, then. So let's get the word expensive, for example. Expensive. Expensive. Again, we got expensive. 3 syllables, right? Expensive. In this case, my friends, what is going to happen is we're not going to add any suffixes. What we will do is to put the word more in front. So a Ferrari is definitely more expensive than a Golf. Okay? I am more romantic than my friends. Romantic, a word with, again, 3 syllables, romantic. That's why we use more in front. So very simple, right? 1 syllable or 2 syllables with Y, 2 syllables not ending in Y or more, that's the division. Quite simple, right? Well, I hate to tell you, but there are some exceptions. So, the adjectives good, bad, far, and fun have what we call irregular comparatives. So, meaning that it's not possible to transform them into a comparative using these rules that we have over here. So good is going to change into better. So my house is good. My mom's house is better. Right? So if I compare, I say my mom's house is better than my house. I cannot, for the love of God, my friends, we cannot say gooder, okay? We're always going to use better. And then, of course, we got the comparative form of bad is worse. The comparative forms of far can either come with the U in further or with an A in farther. As far as I can tell you guys, both are accepted, okay? And then, of course, we got fun. Fun is a very interesting adjective in which you are not going to say funner in most cases, but you will say more fun. I have, however, heard native speakers say funner. So I believe it is something that is informal, but for us here, following the rules, we are going to say more fun, okay? And that happens not to confuse the adjective fun, which is for things that are nice and good, like a walk in the park, like staying at home is fun, with the other adjective that we have, which is funny, right? Funny is like a comedian. A comedian is funny. So the comparative of funny is funnier, using, of course, the first rule that we have over here. So funny, funnier. Fun, not to confuse, we are going to use more fun. Okay? Now, let's practice a little bit. In another class, we talked about the adjectives we use to describe places. Now, let's compare the cities. Let's compare London and Tokyo, and New York and Rio. Here are a couple of words: calm, stimulating, quiet, and picturesque. How can we use them? Pause this video right now, take your time, and I'll show you the examples in a second. Are you done? Very well. Let's take a look and compare our answers. Here's what I came up with. You might have different sentences, but we must have the exact same comparative adjectives. So let's take a look. I said Tokyo is calmer, using the adjective calm with ER at the end. Tokyo is calmer than London. London, on the other hand, is more stimulating than Tokyo. I said New York is quieter than Rio. You might say, oh, teacher, but New York is not quiet. Yes, but compared to Rio, it is quieter. And of course, Rio is more picturesque than New York. Right? Here, let's remember we are using more for big words and the suffix er at the end of words with 1 or 2 syllables. I hope that's clear for you. Please don't forget to complete the exercises and also check out our booklet. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!